Sound check, 1, 2.
This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
And he knows as soon as he gives it to her, he's gonna give her his heart to her too.
And we'll have kids and get married.
That's too far.
Holy shit.
Welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast. It is the 18th of April, 2020. Easter has come. Easter is gone. COVID-19 is here to stay. Which, as long as I get that unemployment check, I'll be great. But until then, kind of speed things along. Joining me tonight is not Chris Goss. Joining me tonight is my friend Jamie Kelly. Jamie, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, Corey?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Just waiting on that that government money. You know what I'm saying?
Any of us going to get that then? I don't even care about the stuff I didn't earn. I just want the stuff I did earn. I haven't asked for it in years. You know, and thank God that we talked yesterday, I think, and I told you that I was very happy that I finally put myself on payroll with Total Roofing Service.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we all need some money. Well, okay. Alan hears your voice, and I think he wants to piss on the pillow.
Yeah.
Pee on the pillow. Sorry for saying pills.
Yeah.
Maybe you can edit that one out.
Not gonna do that. We're adults here, Jamie. We just try to keep the swearing to a minimum. You know, there's sometimes when you're telling a story,
absolutely.
You know, it comes out, and I don't want to keep people away from that. But we don't need to start the show with "Hey MFers, what?" You know, that's just not how I roll.
No. Your show nor my show is going to have that. We're not going to do that with the shows.
No,
because we're here for a different purpose.
Yeah, and that's to help ourselves in recovery, and the people that listen, you know, hey, if they want to follow along too, it's kind of like a soap opera. That's how my mom says it.
It is, and I can't get this out fast enough. You know, I can't get this episode out fast enough because I need it.
That's what she says.
I've needed it for a few days. Yeah, she always says it, right?
Yeah, and we're gonna get into. Well, we can just get into it right now. Jamie, you were on the show 3 weeks ago, and we had a great conversation.
Yeah.
My mom heard it. My girlfriend commented on it to me too. She's like, I really like that guy. Like, I really like what he had to say. And if this is your first time listening, Jamie's my friend. We roomed together at a treatment facility, and Jamie ended up leaving there early. Jamie never made it to room 217, but we did have some good times down in room 112. Not like that. Not like sexual or anything, but well, not with you anyway.
Sexual relationship.
But no, it was fun. We got to know each other quite well. We lived together for a couple weeks there, and I remember thinking when I first met Jamie, first of all, I was like, oh my God, this is this guy's first rehab, and he's gonna have a long, hard road. And I remember when you left, I didn't want to tell you anything because I didn't want you to think negative, and I didn't want you to think that I was thinking negative or that I had any doubts in you. But I just remember I kept saying, well, you know, this is like number 15 for me. You know, it's not an easy road. I kept kind of throwing those things out there to kind of set you up because I know how hard you would take it when you relapsed. And that happened. And I think you're starting to kind of put it together to where it's not. Well, it is physically hard, but it's mentally hard. It's a long, hard road. The road to recovery. Yeah, and you know, think about it though, Jamie. How long have you been drinking? How long has that been your go-to? You know.
Well, we talked about that. It's been 35, 38 years that I've been doing this. Yeah. It really has been. So,
I mean, if you only had let's just throw this out there as an analogy. So let's just say you were having intercourse with little people your entire life, and then boom, you meet a nice thick Latino woman or whatever. Your mind's gonna be blown, man. You know, like you're gonna have a lot of changing to do there. You know, is what used to work for you all the time used to do it for you, and now it's just not gonna work. it's hard to change. And the first thing you want to do is go back to what you know. You know, you're like, man, this Latina, she's hot, you know, and she can make great food, but I got to go back to what I know because I was really good at that. And even if you weren't as good as you thought you were, you knew it. You were comfortable with it. Does that make sense, or was I way out there on that one?
It's a decent analogy. Again,
Thanks for
the thing is that it's you know, for me to put it like that, you know, I'll never think of being an alcoholic as I would a sex addict, let's say.
Ooh.
But what I know is when something upsets me, when I get angry, when I get depressed, when I get upset, when I get hurt and can't take care of it, I've got a good friend. And it's a bottle of vodka, it's a bottle of Captain, it's a bottle of beer. It is what it is. It's alcohol, all in the end. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've done. That's what I've gone to. Mm-hmm. And it seems like I can never break that cycle. Honestly, because the whole thing here is we are being brutally honest. And the cycle is, if you don't feel well, go get a drink. It'll make you feel a lot better. And it doesn't. It never has. You know, we hung out yesterday for 3 hours or whatever. Mm-hmm. To me, it felt like a lifetime. And you knew what I had done. You knew I had relapsed.
Uh-huh. But brutally honest,
and you never brought it up.
No, there was no need to. You have to move on. You have to keep going forward. In my experience, you know, to bring it up and to talk about it with you. You know, the only thing I said to you was, well, you know, Jamie, because you had mentioned that you did a meeting, you know, at your, where was that? Is that in Battle Creek or was that in New York?
It was both. It was Battle Creek at the VA there, and it was at the VA in Bath, New York, that I started a couple different meetings. Yeah,
because you were like, why are we just sitting around not doing anything? Like, let's do something. So you and a couple of the guys, you know, you said you started a meeting and started doing something at night, and you called it Brutally Honest. And I looked at you and I said, I like that. And, you know, to be a part of 217 recovery, obviously you have to stay sober. And I looked at you and I said, Jamie, you know, like, I like this idea. I think this is going to be great, but, you know, you're going to have to stay sober. And that's the only thing I really need to say. And you just kind of were like, yeah, I know. And that's the only...
And that's what happened all day today. I've been looking forward to this all day today because it's the only thing that's kept me sober today.
Nice.
Was being brutally honest. I asked you, you know, do we have to bring that up, Corey? Do we have to bring up another relapse? And you said no, but if you want to be brutally honest, you do. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, that's been my my entire goal today is to have become brutally honest with myself. And that's what we're doing tonight. You know, normally I'm a pretty lighthearted guy. Obviously, you know that. Everybody knows it. And, man, you know, I had some things come along this week, and I went back to what I know. You know, mm-hmm. I went back to that old friend. And, boy, it didn't say a thing to me. That thing never talked to me one bit, bro.
It never does.
It didn't talk back a bit. It didn't help me a bit. It didn't. The only thing it did was say, hey, you've got to go take care of a situation that you've been afraid of your entire life. And that's, we're not going to get into who was abused, but I had somebody that is so close to me get abused by a man. So I had to go talk to a friend that I actually learned, you know, it becomes your enemy. You know, you think you want it, but you don't.
No. You really don't. And that's one of those experiences that, or one of those situations that you don't really prepare for. You know, it's not like you can say, well, I'm not going to that bar because I'm walking the bar, I'm going to want to drink. You know, these everyday, these life situations that pop up that we're just not prepared for. We didn't see it coming. Those are the trickiest and the scariest to realize and to divert yourself and to switch lanes. Go, I'm not going down that one. And that's going to continue to happen. And I would assume for the rest of our lives, you know, but we have to get.
For sure, because that lane's always going to be there.
Yeah,
my friend.
It's life.
That's the lane. It's always going to be there. There's always going to be a curve of the road, and you can always pull over. I don't care where we're at. We can swerve over from the driver's lane to the curb, and it's going to be there. You know.
Yeah.
And I hope you're understanding this. And one of that big thing that we talked about yesterday was just being honest, just be brutally honest. And I hadn't felt better in a long time than I did this morning when I talked to you.
Yeah, you called me at 7:00 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, what's up? You know, and you kind of talked, and you're like, man, I want to do this kind of thing. And I said, yeah, let's do a podcast later. And I was thinking maybe 3 or 4, and you're like, great. And that's when you brought up, you know, hey, do we don't have to mention the relapse too. I'm like, no, I have to, but you know, you want to be brutally honest, and you probably should. And you know, I thought that was a good sign that you changed from no to, yeah, you're right. You know, I need to be honest with it. And I think it helps people that are listening because, excuse
God,
me.
it sucks though, man, don't it? It's so ridiculous.
Well, it is.
Especially, you know, again, if you go to my background, you know, I'm a Marine. And we're the biggest, strongest, fastest, deadliest people in the world.
Besides ninjas.
And then there's this liquid that can just beat us apart, you know, and it's more than liquid. It's, you know, for my other friends or other, you know, brothers and sisters in the armed forces, it could be a lot of other things. It's a substance. It's right. Something that can kill us without us ever going to combat with it. We will never hear a trace. We'll never see a trace around. We'll never hear a trace of the shot that it's bringing down. But we all battle with it, you know. And I know might be hard for you to understand, or you know, some of our listeners tonight. But you know, we're battling a demon that we can't kill unless we talk.
Right.
And that's the last thing we're taught is how to talk to the demon that's going to kill us.
I was thinking about you today, Jamie, and about what we were going to talk about and being brutally honest. And I thought I should tell you this, that you may not think you're helping somebody right now, but there's somebody that's going to listen to this, Jamie, and go, wow, that guy's vulnerable. He just relapsed. And you can go back and listen to your podcast from a few days ago, you know, a few weeks ago, whatever, and hear that you excited about, you know, having the 3 months sober. Everything was going, seemed great. And then boom.
Super cocky, super ready, right.
But you're vulnerable.
Ready for the world to come attack me.
And you're being honest about it, Jamie. And that's something that, you know, it's hard. It is very hard because you first, at least with me, I would want to just hide it away like, hey, I'm going to drink this weekend, and that's it. Of course, it never stopped. I started drinking that weekend, and next thing you know, it's a week later, I'm in the hospital. It never stopped. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and I told her that I was at Walgreens, and I walked past the cough syrup, and I was kind of standing in line. I looked over, and I was like, man, I could buy a couple of those, and you know, just get a buzz, I guess, from those. And I mean,
right, and nobody would think anything of it.
No,
nobody would think anything of it.
I would, though. And it was so quick. I mean, it didn't last long, but I acknowledged it, and I talked to her about it. You know, and it's those little moments that you can go, that's old behavior. That's something I just would have told anybody. And then 2 weeks from now, maybe a month from now, I'm in there, and I decide, you know what, I could do that, and no one would know. But the fact that I talked about it and I expressed to her and I open up to her about everything.